Welcome, boys and girls, to the Halloween edition of Innovation. No, just kidding. We're not going to do anything scary.
Oh, Mr. McLaughlin, that was a bit scary.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I do too. Whoa, that was spooky. So today, I thought it'd be really fun for us to learn some innovative ways of creating some Halloween tricks and pranks.
Yeah, that sounds fun, but let's just stay away from the scary stuff, okay, Mr. McLaughlin?
Okay, we'll try to make sure that nothing else scares you. Let's get started. So the first project we're going to do is pretty easy. It starts with Epsom salt, and then you just mix some hot water together with the Epsom salt, and you get crystals if you put it in the refrigerator. Now it's equal parts Epsom salt and hot water. Put it in the refrigerator, and in a couple hours, you'll have some really cool crystals. Just take it out of the fridge, pour off the excess water, and look at your crystals close up.
Those sure are cool. I bet that'd be really fun to put out at a Halloween party around a dish or around some hors d'oeuvres or something like that.
It'd be better to keep that away from any kind of food because it could really make you sick if you were to eat it.
Yeah, Sarah's right. We definitely don't want to put this near food. But look at those crystals.
That sure is fancy. Are we going to learn about anything that we can eat?
For the most part, no. The next thing we're going to look at you could eat because you can put it in a drink, but most kids don't like the taste of tonic water. So let's take a look and see what I'm going to do with tonic water.
Wow, that is super cool looking.
Mr. McLaughlin, does the tonic water glow because it has quinine in it?
Sarah, you are absolutely correct. Tonic water has quinine in it, and it glows when it is exposed to something called black light.
Oh, I know what that is. It's also called a UVA light or an ultraviolet light. It's a lamp that emits long-wave ultraviolet light and very little visible light.
Oh, I went dancing once and they had a light like that. I had this really awesome white suit on and it was glowing and it was super cool. It was awesome. I was doing some awesome dance moves.
Yeah, that was real special. Great job.
Okay, so what I'm doing here is pouring the tonic water into ice trays. Then I'm going to stick it in the freezer overnight and then take it out and pour myself a little soda seltzer and some tonic water ice cubes and turn on that black light.
Wow, guys, you can really dance.
Don't quit your day job.
That was a whole lot of fun. What are we going to learn about next, Mr. McLaughlin?
I'm going to show you a fun little project I like to call the Boo Bag. It's all based on this really cool chemical reaction.
Whoa, that looks like a witch's brew.
Mr. McLaughlin, what did you use to make that effect?
Well, it only requires two ingredients, vinegar and baking soda. When you mix them together, the hydrogen ions in the vinegar react with the sodium and bicarbonate ions in the baking soda. The result of this initial reaction is the two new chemicals, carbonic acid and sodium acetate. I think we remember something like sodium acetate. This creates the bubbles and the foam you see when you mix baking soda and vinegar.
I see. So when you put it in your boo bag, the gases from the chemical reaction expand and fill up the bag with air. Kinda spooky. I bet that'd be fun to step on and pop.
Hey, do you know why ghosts are such bad liars? 'Cause you can see right through them.
I think it might be time to make some pumpkin pie.
Well, we are not going to make pumpkin pie, but in our next experiment, you could use the foam we're going to create inside of a pumpkin and create a really cool green foaming pumpkin.
That is so awesome. That's a much bigger reaction than we saw with the baking soda and vinegar.
It sure is. What did you use to make it?
Well, we definitely needed a couple more things than we did in the last experiment. We needed some yeast. Bread yeast works just fine. We need some hydrogen peroxide. We need some dish soap. And we need some food coloring. And the way it works is first, you take the yeast and you mix it with some water and you get it so it is all nice and liquidy as opposed to a powder. Then you take a glass or a pumpkin and inside you put the hydrogen peroxide and you put in the dish soap and you put in the food coloring. Then when you're ready, you just pour the yeast in and watch the reaction happen. You can also do it inside of a plastic bag, just like we did the Boo Bomb, and this time you'll have a Boo Bomb of green soapy fun.
It's a good thing you decided to do that on a tray. That is making a huge mess everywhere.
Yeah, but messes can be a whole lot of fun, I am.
You're right, Sarah. Messes can be fun, but you should definitely check with the grown-ups in your house to make sure it is okay to do these kinds of projects before you get started. In fact, I decided to go ahead and make my own boo bag and then have some fun with it myself. So Sarah, why don't you show us some things that we could do in Scratch that maybe we could have some Halloween fun with?
Mr. McLaughlin, that's a great idea. So the first thing we're going to do is start a new Scratch project, and we're going to click on Create. Make sure we're signed in. That's really important so you can save your work, especially since we're going to share this. And we're going to title this Halloween Surprise. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a background for my cat. So I'm going to move my cat over here. Choose a background. Remember, the way we do this is clicking on this little circle down here on the bottom right. And I'm going to choose this fantasy castle background. And then I'm going to put some code on my cat to make my cat walk towards that castle door. So I'm going to click on Events. And when green flag clicked, I'm going to need a couple of these because I want a couple events to happen at the same time. So I actually want 4 of them. So when I click the green flag, all 4 of these events will happen at the same time. I'm going to save this one for last. So the first thing I'm going to do is do a repeat. And I want my cat to look like it's walking. So some of this is going to be important in terms of timing. So I'm going to repeat this 20 times. And I'm going to put a wait in for 0.5 seconds. So that means in 10 seconds, it will finish the loop. Because 0.5 times 20 is 10. And then I'm going to put in next costume. So this will have the effect of making my cat walk around. And we can watch that work. You can see his feet moving. If you want to make him move faster, you can. You just have to make sure you change the time. So if I move him faster to 0.25, then I have to make this 40 because 1/4 or 0.25 of 40 is 10 seconds. And we can see his feet move faster. So we have to sometimes do a little bit of math. Then the other thing I want to do is give him the perspective of getting smaller as he walks down the path. So I'm going to do another repeat loop. And we'll do this one 10 times. And I'm going to have him wait 1 second. And I'm going to have him change his size by -5. And if you decide that you want to make that number a little bit different, you can go in and adjust that later. Now we actually have to make the cat walk down the path. So the first thing I'm going to do is make the cat show, because I want to make sure the cat is visible. Then I'm going to have the cat always start at the same spot. So I'm going to go to the motion, and I'm going to go to an XY location that matches the current spot, which is -170 and -108, which we can see in this little window over here on the right. Right underneath the stage is the X and Y. I also have the show and hide buttons over here in case our cat disappears and we need to show it again. Then I'm going to have the cat say a message. I'm going to have the cat say, "Watch me as I get closer to the castle door." And that's going to play for 2 seconds. And then I'm going to have the cat glide for 12 seconds to a new location, which is going to be where the castle door is. So I'm going to put this in for 10 seconds. So 10 plus 2 is 12. And I want the cat to go way over here, and I want to make sure it's the center of the door, so it looks like the cat is headed towards the door. And I can see the new numbers for X and Y appear on the screen, 179 and 21. So I'm going to put that in. And there is the new location for the cat. So we can give this a try, but I want to do one more thing. I want to click on here, looks, and have the cat hide when it's all done. So let's see what we got so far. And you can see he's getting smaller and smaller, and eventually he should look like he's headed towards the castle and goes inside. That sounds great. The only thing, it looks like he's starting to shrink while he's saying this for 2 seconds. So I'm just going to put an event, or a control, excuse me, in that has him wait an extra 2 seconds before he starts to shrink, because it's kind of weird that he would talk while he is shrinking. And then we're going to do the same thing for this, an extra 2 seconds, so that way he says, watch me as I get closer to the castle door. So that way he's not going to move, or he's not going to shrink until after he finished saying, watch me as I get closer to the castle door. So let's give that a try. Whoops, he's really small. So because I changed the size, I have to make sure when I start over, I set the size back to 100. So we're going to drag this in to the very beginning to make sure the size is set to 100 first. So let's try that again. There he goes. Watch me as I get closer to the castle door. Yada, yada, yada. Walking, walking, walking. Looking good. I like that. So the real purpose of this project is a Halloween jump scare. So while somebody's watching, the cat goes towards the castle, we're going to broadcast a message. And to broadcast a message, we're going to click on events. And first I want to wait 12 seconds. The 2 seconds while he's standing still, and then the 10 seconds while he's gliding. And then I'm going to broadcast a message that's under events. And the message I'm going to broadcast is a new message, and it's going to be called scare. I'm going to type in scare. And then this is all the code for this page. Then I'm going to add a new sprite. I am going to look for something fun. I like, oh, maybe this goblin. Oh, how about Frankenstein? Oh, I like Frankenstein. So we're going to add in Frankenstein. And we're going to have Frankenstein do 2 events. When I receive scare, I want Frankenstein to show. So I'm going to go to looks, and I have him show. And I don't want him on the screen when I first start, so I'm going to click the hide button. And now he's going to hide. And when I click the green flag, I want to make sure he's hidden. So I'm going to go to looks and make sure he's hidden. So that way we're sure he's hidden when we start. And when he receives the scare, he's going to show. And I'm going to play a sound. I think a wolfhound sounds good, because that's what happens to be there with this character. And then the other thing I want him to do is kind of go through that little animation that he does. So we're going to go through our costume changes, and we'll just have him repeat it maybe 10 times to go through the costume. We could look at his costumes and see how many costumes he has. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 costumes. So it probably should be a multiple of 4. So let's do 12 times, and that way he can go through the whole cycle a couple times. And then maybe we'll put a weight in there so he doesn't go through super fast. Let's do 0.25. And then we will go and have him say next costume. So when he's all done doing his scare, he should again hide. So that way he goes away for the next time we run the program. So let's give this a try and see what we have. I'm going to make it full screen and hit our green flag, and here we go. Watch me as I get close to the castle door. I'm watching. He's getting closer. And
That's scary.
that was scary. Hope I didn't scare you too much. So once you're done your project, what you can then do is you can share it. So make sure you were logged in Hopefully you were logged in. You can always click the save button just to make sure you're saved. And then click share, Halloween surprise, and copy the link by clicking the copy link button. And then you can send that link to a friend or a family member. You can even copy it and embed it if you know how to do that in an email. And that would be a whole lot of fun.
I hope you enjoyed our Halloween special episode. I sure had a whole lot of fun doing it with me and my friends Ian and Sarah, and yeah, even that pumpkin back there. We had a great time. I hope you did too. See you next time. Bye for now.